Theosophy is a term that means love of theology or love of religion. It was coined by Madame Blavatsky, who founded the Theosophical Society. And it's an organized movement. She was born in Russia. She traveled the world. She found her greatest inspiration in Tibet of India, where she met Jain monks and studied monks. She published her research in Isis Unveiled and the Secret Doctrine. The slogan of the society is "There's no religion higher than truth." So she and Henry Steele Olcott created the Theosophical Society. These are the founding fathers. Henry Steele Olcott was another great occultist and author who traveled the world and studied other religions of the world besides Christianity, of what there were not a lot of books written that were just sitting around. You had to go to these countries and have first-hand contact and do real field research. And he's especially known for popularizing Buddhism after studying it. And so the three objects of Theosophy are: first, to form a nucleus of the universal brotherhood of humanity, without distinction of race, creed, sex, caste, or color. Second, to encourage the study of comparative religion, philosophy, and science. Third, to investigate the unexplained laws of nature and the powers latent in man. So very importantly is the study of comparative religion, philosophy, and science. And these are the objects of study. These scriptures of the world. These are the greatest scriptures of the world that the Theosophists study and compare in regards to cosmology, history, Genesis. They also study alchemists, which are not listed here. All these things are interrelated. They sort of hold a grain of truth, it is said. And they tell us about philosophy and morals. So, very important is Indian literature, and especially the Secret Doctrine, or the Book of Daizan, which is scrutinized by Blavatsky, and where it goes from. And it ends up in Greece, and this is supported by the fact that pre-Socratic philosophers, Plato and Pythagoras, studied mystery cults in Egypt and India. Pythagoras went to India, and Plato went to Egypt. And then they came back to talk about philosophy and metaphysics, and then to disseminate that, and to these are Jain monks, and they have brooms to signify that they are sweeping unicellular life out of their way, and insects out of their way. The point of the broom is they're sweeping their path because they don't want to harm sentient life. And so these are her biggest inspiration. And they are holders of a knowledge of great antiquity, which she thinks they got from Lemuria and Atlantis. These are things that Theosophists believe in. They believe in Lemuria and Atlantis. They have an alternative history, timeline, chronology. And so this is what a theosophical timeline looks like. It's in the scheme of a universe, or a galaxy, or a cosmos. So So, our planet or our galaxy or our universe only occupies one Manavantara. That's the life cycle of one of our universes. So then within that cycle is yugas, which are like a golden, silver, bronze, and iron age. It sort of gets worse, but at the beginning of every age there's a golden age, and then every age there's a period that signifies the iron age. So there's a iron age at the end of the golden age, and a golden age at the beginning of the iron age. So Theosophists have a very different view of time. This also applies to how they date antiquarian texts. So they also have an alternative theory of evolution. And so it begins with the first root race is etheric, and the second root race is a sweat-born. They quote unquote reproduce by budding. The third root race is quote unquote egg-born. The fourth root race is the Atlantean giant. It's the Atlantean root race, and they are giants. And the fifth root race is our root race, and the sixth root race is the next root race. It's in the future, so quote unquote of creative progenation. And the seventh root race is the our beings of light. Theosophists believe in a chain of manifestation and planes of consciousness, as well as planes of spirit and matter. Very complicated chain of being, all interrelated between these planes. Also, they believe in thought forms, which are shadows of thought, the form of thought. These are the founding members of Theosophy or the Theosophical Society that sort of set the pace, or these important characters. Here's another great Theosophist who traveled around the world, went to India, studied these monks that know special knowledge, can do incredible things. And she is an outstanding person to have studied these things. In a time when you can't go to these countries and when there isn't stuff written about these things. And she influenced Jack Kerouac and Allen Ginsberg. And this is C.W. Ledbetter. He left the Catholic Church to become a Theosophist. And he's like a master mason. And he's another occultist and writer on the occult. And this is Annie Besant, is the president of the Theosophical Society, who's an activist. On the chart, she's involved in self-rule of Ireland and India. This is Alice A. Bailey, is another great founding Theosophist. She created a literature of astrology, and like Blavatsky, she grants authorship to an ascended master who's dictating to her from across the planet in Tibet. And these are some well-known people who were card-carrying members of the Theosophical Society. it's hard to verify who was in the society or how involved they were. There's more people than this. And also we don't know how involved these people who are on it were. It's very hard to research this and verify this. But a lot of great people were involved. It's also a great tradition in the arts of Theosophy.